All right, well, I'll start by giving my name. My name is Wayne. That's W-A-Y-N-E. The last name is Heath, H-E-A-T-H, and I'm a commander here with the Anoka County Sheriff's Office. Just to give you all a brief update, as we continue in our search for Manny Collins, our investigation has led us to a search that became very obviously public this morning, and people had a lot of interest. That's why we're here. We just want to give you as much information as we can, but please understand, due to the active nature of the investigation, my responses may be limited, and that is again only to protect the integrity of the investigation. When more public information becomes available, we will share it. The local, state, and federal law enforcement officials remain committed to using all of our available resources to locate Manny Collins. During the investigation, public and private property has been searched, whether on foot with people or using dogs or other resources. And at this point in the investigation, information has led us to search a landfill in Elk River. And what we're looking there for is just evidence that can help us identify the whereabouts of Manny. That remains our goal, and we're committed to that. With that said, we are utilizing resources from the FBI, the BCA, Columbia Heights Police Department, other law enforcement, public safety agencies, and continue to try to find that evidence to seek whatever information we can to locate Manny. So as we continue, that is only one part of the investigation. We have other facets that are ongoing. So I don't want anybody to think that we are merely focusing all of our attention and energy on that. We continue to follow up on other leads and do all of the other things we would with other investigations to continue to track down evidence that'll lead us to Manny's whereabouts. And I guess with that said, there isn't a lot I can discuss about why we ended up at the landfill or anything like that, but with that, do you folks have any specific questions you'd like to ask about that?
How close are you to finding him?
Right now, we're just searching for more information, and as any other criminal investigation goes, sometimes we don't know what next piece of the puzzle will be the final piece that completes the picture for us. So we're looking for that next piece of the puzzle, and we don't, it would be speculative to say how close we are to actually finding him, but we're looking for that next piece, and all of a sudden that picture or that puzzle might be very clear based on what we find.
So you were looking for evidence but not searching for a body in the landfill, so to speak?
Yeah, it's certainly, it's not necessarily just a search for a human or remains or anything like that. It's any evidence that can lead us to whereabouts. That's what we're looking for.
Can you obviously, though, with the number of resources that are up there today, can you speak to, I mean, you obviously got some information in that was deemed very credible to put that amount of resources up there?
Yes, absolutely. But to the extent that that doesn't necessarily equate to what we might find. If you've looked in this case, we've been utilizing those federal, state, and local partners for a lot of this investigation, and we're just going to continue to do that. And we're committed to finding Manny, and that's why we're throwing these resources at the investigation.
Explain then the scope of that investigation at the landfill. Obviously, that is a very laborious, time-consuming, extensive process. What's all involved?
Well, it takes the form of whatever leads were developed to get us there. We have an idea of what we might be looking for, and we're going to search until we can find or not find that type of evidence that we're looking for. And when that is over and done with, we would leave the area.
Does this involve searching the entire area of the landfill, or just a portion, and is it sifting through and taking parts out, or what?
I can't get into specifics about how it is all done, but we are able to more narrowly focus our search in the landfill, and sometimes it can, I wouldn't say sifting, but we're looking for any small pieces of evidence that we might be able to find.
Is it safe to say the person of interest still is a person of interest? And if so, why haven't you got named them?
Well, at this point, they're not an official suspect, and we do not have information enough to further that. So we would just leave them as a person of interest as we would with other cases.
Have you spoken to him recently and continued to have conversations, or know where he's at?
I know that detectives have attempted to contact him, but I don't know how successful or when they have contacted him recently.
On the landfill, was it a tip that got you there, or was it just the investigative work, a tactic by the agency?
It was information developed during the investigation, not a tip. So what detectives were able to see and piece together through their investigation.
Are you searching other landfills anywhere else?
No. If we have other searches, like if we find out information that would lead us to do another ground search or search of another area, we will do that as well.
How long do you expect to be out there tonight? Could it be through the weekend?
It could be until the investigators determine that they've exhausted the possibility of finding the evidence they're looking for.
Manny's mother posted what looked like a missing poster. Obviously it included Manny, but then it included his father. And it said, if you see him as well, call police. Is that something you had asked her to do, or can you explain why she would do that?
That I do not know. I would only be speculating, but I don't believe that was any part of our investigation.
Have you been able to make contact with Manny's father?
We have tried, and I don't know how successful that's been.
You still looking for the public's help in helping find Manny?
Yes, obviously, if the public has any information about his disappearance or any information that they think could be helpful, we would appreciate it. We have the BCA tip line set up. That number is 1-877-996-6222, or at bca.tips@state.mn.us.
Do you have reason to believe he is or is not still alive?
Again, that would be speculative at this point in the investigation.
But there's been no contact with him?
Correct, that has not
for
changed.
several weeks.
Yes, sir, that is
Cell phone activity.
correct, that has not changed.
So I know Sunday will be a month that he's been missing. And like you said, Miss Berry put out looking for the father. Have you not spoken to the father? Is he not cooperating? Is it fair to say that now, that he's not and you can't find him?
That is information that I'm not privy to. I don't know whether or not he has been cooperative or whether or not he's been found. That I'm not aware.
And how much more evidence are you looking for? What exactly do you need the public's help with?
Any evidence that they have about seeing something or hearing something, generally when these things happen, they don't happen in a vacuum. Somebody hears something or saw something that was suspicious, so we're asking for, or if they happen to have video on a building or of an activity, that they would share that with us. That's the evidence that we would seek the public's help for, just
Why
any
the
information.
hazmat suits?
I think simply just because of the environment.
Truly, because of the garbage?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, it would be the hazmat suits for the environment that they're working in.
I know you can't say a lot about what is leading them to the landfill, but what can you say? I mean, it's 32 miles away from Columbia Heights, quite a distance. What can you say about the connection there? What led investigators there?
Sure, and at the end of the day, so an apartment in Columbia Heights or a townhouse here in Coon Rapids, all of their refuse gets picked up by a certain company, and those companies take the refuse to either to a transfer station or to a landfill itself. And when we're looking for something, we might end up having to contact, say if it was a home over here, where does their refuse go? And that would lead us to go to a certain landfill. So the proximity from Columbia Heights to the landfill is really only dependent on where the refuse haulers take that.
So is this the garbage company from his father's apartment building? That is the connection, or what's the
And that,
of the company?
that I am not aware of, and at this point, it wouldn't be something we would give out anyway due to the nature of the investigation.
So Manny's still missing.
Yes, sir.
How's everybody doing?
Are you speaking of family or?
Yeah, everybody. I mean, anybody that you're close with here, or obviously yourself too, you're in the mix.
Well, obviously, this is a very trying investigation, simply because it's what's at stake here. We have a young man who's missing, and we want to find him desperately. And for us, we want that to happen for the family. This is part of what we do, and we expect to deal with these things. But we look at what this is doing to the family and the community that this is affecting, and we're a very distant. You don't need to worry about us. This is what we do. But our concern is for those people. I think they're doing as well as they possibly can under these extraordinary circumstances.
How often do you come across a case like this, and is this the timeline that it takes to, really gather evidence?
Well, some of a case specifically like this, this isn't a very common case, or at least it hasn't been in my career. But the more complex the investigation and the more things that are attached to it, sometimes it can take us much longer than this to find all the evidence we need to whether it's in a case, find a human in this case, or find the evidence we need, because it can go and be spread to a long distance apart. And some of these investigations take years for us to get to where we need to be. That's not our hope here. We're hoping to find Manny as soon as we possibly can, for his sake and for the families.
Thank you. Can we get your name, spelling, title?
Sure. First name is Wayne, Wayne. Last name is Heath, Heath, and I'm a commander here at the Anoka County Sheriff's Office.
Thank you, Manny.
Yeah, absolutely.